All right, students. All right, students. Here we go with a step-by-step review of how to solve one variable equations in algebra. Okay, and so we're going to use the abbreviations that I have gone over in class a little bit. But I had some students say, "Hey, man, I need some step-by-step instructions." Where here it is. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is how you solve any problem. And you do these steps only if you can or if you're able to do them. So I'm going to explain each step by step. So here's an example problem. All right. And it reads, what value of x will make the following equation true? Okay, now remember, it's not an equation if it doesn't have an equal sign. Right? Some people start off by drawing a line straight down the middle. That's fine. There's no one way to do it. This is just one of the ways that you can do it, and it's easy to remember the steps because the first letters you can use that "don't call me after midnight," that acrostic there. And the D stands for distribute first. So that's always going to come in first. You're going to look for parentheses first. So let's put some little parentheses next to the step one. You always look for parentheses first to see if you can distribute or if you need to take care of something inside of the parentheses. All right, so let's deal from left to right. We're on the left side of the equation. And I'm going to look at this 4 next to these parentheses with the 1/2 x minus 3. Now, guess what? Mr. Smith went ahead and put a fraction right on in the problem, right? I didn't put a decimal. I put a fraction because I want you to get over the fear of handling fractions in your mind without the calculator. Okay, it's not a problem. You're a mathematician. You can do this. God made you. Okay, it's not hard. So all I gotta do is take this 4 and straight multiply times that 1/2. Well, how do I do that, Mr. Smith? It's easy. You take the top numbers, which is the 4 and the 1, and you multiply them times each other. 4 times 1 is 4. Correct. And then you divide by the bottom number here. So 4 times 1 is 4, divided by 2, that's easy. That equals 2, and then you keep the x. Next number, 4 times negative 3, that's negative 12. Keep the equal sign. Now let's keep going. Well, I'm just going to bring this x straight down. Minus 1/4. Okay, I see some parentheses here. 1/4 is multiplying times 12. Well, guess what that's going to be? Right off the cuff, I know that's going to be 3. Why? Because 1 times 12 is 12. And 12 divided by 4, you guessed it, it's 3. That's going to be a negative 3, though, because I got a minus sign right here in front of my 1/4. Let's keep going. My negative 1/4. I still got to include this sign right here. I can't leave that out. Minus 1/4, that makes that 1/4 negative. So negative 1/4 times that negative 8. Well, a negative times a negative, they taught me back in the day that's a positive. All right, so I got negative 1/4 times negative 8. Remember, we multiplying the top numbers and dividing by the bottom. So that's 1 times negative 8 divided by 4. So that's going to be another 2, and we're going to get an x. Now, I made a mistake because I put an x next to this 3 right here, and that's not supposed to be there. So I'm glad y'all caught me on that. Where's my eraser? I think my eraser right there, so I'm finna just erase this little x right there, okay? So here I am. I'm good to go solo. Back at it. So step 1, done. I distributed. The next step is to see if I can combine like terms. And when I'm looking for that, basically I'm looking on one side of the equation at a time. So I'm looking at the left-hand side. Can I combine this x term with this regular integer? No, I cannot. Can I combine this x term with this integer? No, but I can combine it with this other x term. Wow. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's bring the 2x on this side down. Keep the equals. And let's go ahead and add the x's. Oh, I put an eraser accidentally. So let's put the x's. That's going to be 3x minus 3. Simple and plain. I just added 2x plus 1x. That gave me the 3x. And now we're on to step number 3. Hey! So we're going to move variables onto one side or the other. We got to decide. Is it going to be on the side with the 2x right here, or is it going to be on the side with the 3x? Basically, it's going to be on the side of the highest x value. So what we got to do is take this 2 and subtract it from this side, because we want to get rid of the smallest x value. And what I do to one side, I do to the other. That gives me 1x. Okay, I don't need the 1 because 1 is implied in all of multiplication. Okay, oops. And now basically we're going to take the numbers and put them on the opposite side. So let's do that real quickly. All right, and so we've moved the variables to one side, so we can cross that out. Oops, player. We can cross that out. And now we're going to use the add or subtract function to move the numbers to the opposite side. And so since we have our variables on the right, let's put our numbers on the left. And we're going to use the opposite of subtraction here. Okay, the opposite of that is addition. So we're going to add 3 to cancel that out. What I do to one side, I have to do to the opposite side equally. All right. And so since we are having opposite signs here, we have opposite signs here and here. That means we're actually going to subtract. All right. So the difference between 12 and 3 is simply 9. All right. And since we have a bigger negative number here than we do a positive, the quality of that 9 is going to be negative. Okay. And so we have as our final answer, since we did our add and subtract, we don't have a coefficient next to the x to divide or multiply away. So our final answer is x equals -9. And we've completed all 5 steps in order. This can help you solve any one variable equation that you're looking at, okay? So hopefully this helps. God bless. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace.